Welcome to the making of a DM. How being spontaneous has made me millions and millions of dollars in business. And also, we're going to talk about don't be that broke guy worth millions of dollars. So with that said, let's get started.
I'm Mark Evans, I'm Mark Evans, I'm here to help and teach them what I know and how I did it to discover freedom. There ain't no question Mark Evans when he step in the door. He's closing deals. Time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker, but I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker.
Hey there, it's your boy Mark Evans, DM. Welcome to another show of the making of a DM. That's right, dream maker, deal maker. You are the dream maker and deal maker of your life. And I appreciate you being here and knowledging up. That's what it's about. As I'm sitting here today, getting ready to go hang out and play some tennis with my son, I thought I'd take about 30 minutes here today to talk to you about a lot of cool stuff and a lot of not so cool stuff. Just hard truth, reality to help make you better at the game of life and business. Before I do, the email newsletter, 1 million to 10 million, is absolutely going bananas. I'm going to keep sharing that journey with you guys over the next 12 months of how I'm going to turn $1 million into $10 million over the next 12 months or less. That's the goal anyways. You can follow along on that journey. It's 100% free. I'm dropping bombs in there. I'm sharing kind of what deals I'm looking at, what deals I'm doing, why I'm doing, my torch method, and how you can utilize this in fast vetting of deal flow. This is how I'm able to look at hundreds of deals a week and only do maybe one a week, if that. So make sure you're on that newsletter. Like I said, it's free, and you can get on that newsletter at www.markevansdm.com/10 million, 10 million. Not only that, I want to say thank you to everyone from last week. I got so many messages letting me know how grateful they are of the show and how it makes them think deeper and bigger about the game of life. I see a lot of people playing small, thinking small, dreaming small, and most importantly, doing small, expecting big. And it really is frustrating. It's overwhelming for most people, actually for all. I get overwhelmed by it because I know what's possible out there if you have the right mindset, the right business plan, the right structure, and the right execution strategy. You could really set your life to a level that you're probably not even thinking about. And that's what my goal is here with this show. And so many of you not only shared with 3 of your friends last week, and if you haven't done so, just push pause and then go in there to the share button and send it an email or text. It's funny. I do this to my wife. I do this to my buddies. If I'm listening to a show and something hits me, I'm like, hey, listen to a show from minute 3 minute to 7 minute. It really makes sense. I don't need to tell them what it's about, or it's something maybe we just talked about and it re-anchors it. But it's really neat to see people connect like that. And I could be your voice. They'll be like, wait, you know that guy, or you listen to that guy? Wow, man, we got a lot more common than I thought. And then boom, we could spark ideas together. And all you got to do is simply share it. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. If I say something here today that makes a lot of sense, even that $10 million newsletter, that alone, tell your friends to get on that. It's free. There's nothing to buy. I'm sharing deal structures, deal flows, how I vet deals, what I'm looking for, what I'm looking at. And who knows, maybe you or them or someone they know or someone you know, maybe we do a deal together over the next 12 months and or beyond. Who knows? That's the beautiful thing about what we're doing here today is you're listening to me through your headset, and I'm sitting here in beautiful Parkland, Florida. Sun is out. I got a crazy amount of things to do. I got 3 events over the next 13 days going on. I got a bunch of people from one of my companies coming in. We're doing a sit down with them for 2 days, talk to them about the pivots, what's working, what's not, rearranging some people on the seats, eliminating some jobs. Unfortunately, it's part of the game as well, and changing the bus up a little bit. And then for 4 days, I'll be hanging out at one of my mentors' houses and the hotel here in Fort Lauderdale for 4 days, just me and my wife. Really super high level real estate investing, top tier, billions and billions of dollars in the room, multi-billionaires. My coach, one of my mentors, worth $1 billion plus, and very diverse in the real estate and the business and all that. And then right after that, I'm heading out to support some of my buddies in Orlando Me and a couple of my buddies are going up there to sit and listen and talk about big time real estate deals in the commercial space. So I'll be there for 4 days, really just going all in. And, guys, I don't have to go to this stuff. I need to, and I want to. I love to connect with players. I love to connect with people that invest money in themselves. It really is the separator. As I sit here and think about it, I don't know anybody I do business with really in business, B2B, that doesn't invest in themselves. I genuinely don't know anybody that doesn't. Everyone I roll with is investing tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in themselves, from coaches, mentors, mastermind groups, one-off consultants, etc. It is the secret hack. And if you're not doing that, I would start thinking about why you're not. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, dude, if it worked, why aren't they doing it? Well, who says they're not doing it, number one? But then also it's kind of stinking thinking, because Michael Jordan, any professional high-level athlete has coaches, right? And these guys are at the top of the level. LeBron, Michael, all those guys, they all have coaches. And you got to ask yourself why. They have mentors, they have coaches, it's mental coaches, physical coaches, strategic coaches. There's a lot of variables to this game. I have many different types of coaches and mentors in my life, and I will forever. And I hope you guys catch that bug and have an allocation for you yearly to be parking money in these kind of things, because you are worth it. And, I see a lot of people struggling when they don't have to. So make sure to connect with me if you need help. I was thinking about this, I do these shows for free and I'll continue to do so. But if you have stuff that's affecting you or bothering you in your game of life or business, you can always shoot me a message via email, mark@markevansdm.com, and just put in the subject line, ask for podcast, and then put the question in there. And then myself and my team will put these together, and I'll make sure to answer these. It's kind of like, free mentoring from afar. I genuinely want to help you. So I'm asking you to help me help you. It's real simple. So I want to talk about the cool thing, spontaneous. And then I want to get to the other thing, broke, but worth millions. Oh, I got a lot to say about that one. But I want to talk about spontaneous. Me and my wife, we sit down and we're looking at the calendar. And I've always been massively spontaneous. I'm very structured in my days. I work hard every morning. By noon, honestly, 1 o'clock at the latest, I pretty much have everything I really, really need to get done. But people like you and I, we never have our job done because there's always so much to do. But I'm talking to things that need to get done daily. And then we were sitting there looking at the calendar, and we had a spot open for a couple weeks. And as you know, or may not know, I like to do yachting. That's a week thing. We got on the week. We're out in the Bahamas, BVI's, Caribbean, somewhere hanging out. Just me, Dean, and the kids, and maybe a couple of buddies with their spouses and kiddos. But we'll hang out there. We're talking shop. You're really disconnected. Not a whole lot of cell phone action going on out there, if any. Mostly, writing and reading and thinking and collaborating, conversating, and just catching up on life. But we have a couple of weeks kind of set aside, and I was like, hey, we need to go to Dubai. And my wife's been wanting to go to Dubai for a long time, and it kind of might work out. So what do? I instantly do a post on social media, say, hey, do I have any Dubai peeps there? I'm going to do an event there. I'm actually going to do a meetup there for the day. One of the days of the 2 weeks will be over in that part of the country, in the world, and connect with some great people that I might not ever be able to connect with, but I'm going to use the same thing you can use, social media. Now, there's lots of ways to do this. You could go there, I'm guessing, for, simple, or go high level. I like to go the first class route. That's kind of how I built myself and created my life around that. I work really hard, and I like to travel first class and stay at nice, amazing hotels and do really cool stuff. So if you know anybody, I got a couple ask, if you know anybody that does high level Dubai trip stuff, let me know. Shoot me a message on Instagram at markevansdm. I'd love to connect with them. This is a big trip. It will be probably, like I said, approximately 2 weeks. I have no clue about where we're going to go, but it's kind of like, the reason I love spontaneous, this is how I built my business, is I get an idea, I get excited about the idea, and I start getting resourceful with the idea, meaning posting on social media, meaning hiring someone, the who, to do the how. I'm looking for the who to help me plan the how. Like, how am I going to get there? Am I going from Miami to Dubai? Am I taking Emirates first, if I'm saying that right? First class, business class, whatever. Am I, what hotel to stay at? What things should I do? Who should I meet up with? What things should the kids do? And all that stuff. So spontaneous for me is a power of execution. A lot of people are planning to plan, to ultimately plan, to never really execute. They almost fall into this euphoric state where they feel like they're actually doing the thing they're planning, but they never do the thing they planned. Sounds fucking stupid saying it out loud, but I see it every single day. And unfortunately, I saw this. One thing I've realized, I'm 45. You may or may not know, my wife and I did travel the world for 7 years prior to getting married and having kids. So we love traveling. We enjoy going to different places. I grew up in small town Ohio, never traveled out of the country for sure until I was probably 28-ish. No, excuse me, that's a lie. 27. Right before I turned 28. I traveled. I was in, we went over out of the country then. But when you realize how big the world is, you start seeing that your problems and your things that you're thinking are really small compared to the world. It's huge. I never left Ohio. I thought Ohio was the world. But when you get out and see all these different cultures and amazing things that are literally, a plane ride away, it could change. I mean, you could fly 3 hours in the States and be in a totally different part of the country in the U.S. alone that literally you'd be like, this seems foreign to me, because it is. But once you get the law of exposure, it really starts expanding your mind, paying attention to like, wow, people spend $5,000 a night on a hotel room. Because where I'm from, I don't think there's a room over $350 a night. Probably the average room would be $125, $200 max. So when you see these things, you're like, holy shit, like there's a lot of money out there. And maybe I'm playing small, and maybe I could create an offer. Maybe I could be of service. Maybe I could start an agency. Like, who stays in this kind of hotels? Who stays in these kind of resorts? Who stays at, who's driving these nice cars? These are all things that spontaneous actions have allowed me to connect with amazing opportunities. I see, I remember a couple guys that used to work for me. No, I said used to. They were massive planners. They were professional planners. They couldn't fucking dig a hole, but they could plan the best hole in the world. They didn't understand how to put the two and two together to actually get the result of the hole. As opposed to me, I'm like, I'll start fucking digging with the spoon while you go to the Home Depot and get a shovel so we can get a head start, make some calls, and let's get a backhoe out here so we can get this hole dug quicker, right? As opposed to then they're like, well, based off my calculations and the size of the hole, if we went an extra inch by diameter and blah, 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 fucking months later, if ever, they'd finally have something that they think is going to work out right through their lens, by the way, through their past experience, through what they, and again, I'm not knocking it, but I see this every single day. One of my great mentors always used to say, you don't have to get it right, just get it going. Most people never get it going. They write about it, they talk about it, they think about it, but they never get it going because they're afraid of, I have no fucking clue what they're afraid of, messing it up, because people that plan still mess up, right? Why not just go mess up faster? Why not just get it going quicker? Why not just get the result sooner? Because if you genuinely think that end result's coming about, just get to work. And spontaneous travel, spontaneous action in general for me serves me very well. Like I said, I literally, within a week and a half, and I got a crazy schedule, so probably about 2 weeks, actually, that's a lie. So right after, where are we at here on the dates? So about 3 weeks from now, I'm guessing, either pre-record the shows or record some while I'm over there, but I'll probably be in Dubai or Saudi Arabia, somewhere over there. I'll be over there doing something with business, with my family, running all these companies from afar, as I always have and always will do since 2005. It's because I'm spontaneous. I do think there's a lot of power in it. You've always seen these people that do deals around you and they're green. They don't know what they're doing. But what they're really doing is they're doing the work. That's what they're doing. They know they're going to fuck it up. They know there's going to be problems. They know there's going to win. Like, that's how winners win. Do you think Tom Brady's sitting in the locker room and preparing the best game and then never shows up to the game thinking he's going to win the game? No. Listen, I'm not saying not to prepare, but some of you are overly preparing for things that will never happen. You're thinking about stuff. It's like the guy or the gal that comes to me. It's like, Mark, what kind of corporation? What should my business name be? What should my website look like? What should this do? What should that do? And I'm like, well, do you have anything to lose? No, not at all. So what the fuck are you trying to protect? Why do you need a website? These are all things that are holding you back from actually getting out there and doing the work, making the connections, creating the conversations, and getting the result of whatever you're going after, qualifying, having sales talks, closing deals. Do you understand? A lot of people made a lot of money pre-internet, pre-website, pre all this other bullshit. Why? Because they were out there shaking hands, kissing babies, and closing deals. Just do the work and get the results. Stop thinking, stop talking, start doing. And if you have spouses and friends around you that tell you stuff like, dude, like, sounds awesome, man, but whatever, blah, 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 they talk down to it. Maybe that's a sign of maybe you're just the talker and they're sick of fucking listening to you talk about nothing because you never do nothing. If you want to get real people following you and real people to listen to you, shut the fuck up and get to work. Get the results. Work and get the job done. I'm telling you, it's the secret. It's not sexy. No one talks about it, but it's the goddamn truth. I'm telling you, get to work. Go out there, start digging with the spoon, start digging with the shovel, call the people, get the who to do the how, start digging with the traco, the backhoe, the bob, whatever you can do, pull in your resources. But that hole's never going to get dug if you don't get out there and start digging. That's it, period. And that's what I'm going to teach in the $10 million newsletter, because you guys, too many of you are working thinking way too hard, and the results are lackluster at best. And I hate that because I see people. I had one guy message me yesterday. He's like, man, I'm making $4,800 a month and I'm trying to figure out how to get to 10 grand a month. And I ask him what he's doing and what he does. He's on a vertical that I know people making 100 grand a month like clockwork, not doing any harder work. He's just talking to people doing the work. This guy's thinking about it. Man, I'm kind of lost. I don't know what to do next. Motherfucker, get to work. That's what you do next. You talk to 50 people a week. You set up goals. You set up sales strategies. You set up plans. You got to get to work. You got to have conversations. And if you ain't selling, you ain't working in business that I'm in. Sales have to happen. That's going to show a direct correlation of what you're capable of. You can have the best product in the world, but if no one knows about it and you're not selling it, you're stealing from yourself and them. Your product's got to be so damn good. You got to get out there and talk about it and tell everyone about it. But you got to have a product. You got to put it together. You got to get to work and get people results. So I want you to get real serious about spontaneous. Do something spontaneous today. Go out there and go do something spontaneous with your spouse, your kids. Just do something that's not on the calendar, not planned. Just wake up and say, I want to do X, Y, Z. Am I the only one that's literally like wakes up in the morning, is in somewhere else, total different part of the country or world within 24 hours? Do it. There's gas stations and grocery stores and phone and internet pretty much everywhere we're going to go. I don't even need to pack anything. Actually, sometimes when I go to the airport, they're looking at me like I'm crazy back in the day. I'd have a duffel bag. That's it. And I'm going for weeks. Why? Because I'm going to go shopping when I arrive. I can go to the store and get lotion and get shampoo and get shaving cream and get a razor. They do sell this shit everywhere. But there's these weird things. We have to have it all sorted out, all figured out before we go anywhere. What if it's not like that? Because it's not. We've made that story up in our head because maybe it causes a little anxiety, which it does, but that's okay. You learn how to deal with it. You're going to have anxiousness moments in your business anyways. Add them into your life. Make it the norm. It's whatever. It's just, cool. Move, next. Move, next. And you're going to wake up and it's a pretty good life. So that was always my fear when Dean and I traveled. I'd always meet these couples in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And one of the spouses would be pushing the other one in a wheelchair. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Where are you from? Blah, 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 blah. And we just start talking, right? Because you're traveling, you're in these environments. And, I remember in Santorini, Greece, talking to this couple. And Santorini, Greece is not wheelchair friendly at all. But we were talking to them. These guys were in early 70s. And they're like, yeah, we saved up our whole life to come here on our dream vacation. And I thought to myself, this is a dream? Because if I was in this wheelchair, it would be a nightmare. There's many people that have all these dream things set up, but they never get to them because life happens. If you can do something, and I'm not saying be reckless about this, but start doing shit. Stop planning, stop talking, and just go do. It's a cool superpower I have, I believe, because I look around, I don't see many people doing it at the level that they could. So I just want to plant that seed with you. And these are real stories that I'm sharing with you. And it's always served me. It's never, ever not served me being spontaneous in those methods. And I know people, it's planned out the best business ideas, the best business plans, the best everything, and they go broke, bankrupt, never get it off the ground. But they spent 5 years to plan it. I actually, last year at my event, a guy's been planning, I swear on my life, I think if I remember right, and I might be undersaying it, 17 years he's been planning to start a cigar shop. 17 fucking years. And he's yet to do one. It's disgusting. It's terrible. I'm impressed he's still going. But I genuinely don't think he really wants to do it. How do I know? Because if you did, you'd fucking do it. That's how. So you would find the resources, you'd find the capital, you'd make the play, you'd save the money, you'd generate the money, you'd invest. Like 17 years, 17 months is a long time, let alone 17 years. So enough of that. Let's talk about something I hear every single day. I'm in the real estate investing community, have been since 1996. And it's something that drives me bonkers. And the thing is, there's a lot of millionaires out there that you may or may not know. You probably see their names on buildings, but they're broke financially, cash-wise. It's called equity. So a lot of these guys go around there and beat their chest, and they're like, I'm worth $25 million. Okay, cool. I don't know what the fuck that means. Because if you have a building that's worth $25 million and you owe 20 on it, that's only net $5 million. But if it's negative cash flow, you're cash flow bankrupt. So that equity means nothing. It's a lie on your balance statement, making you feel cool. But the truth is, in real business, if you don't have cash flow superseding your expenses, you're broke. And a lot of real estate, pretty much a large portion, I don't know how many percent, but I bet it'd be in the high 80s to 90% range of investors are equity rich and cash poor. And I know this because I'm involved in many different types of funds where I bankroll some of these guys behind the scenes. I never talk about it, but I am in the $10 million newsletter because some of these deals I do are insane and they have to do them. Why? Because they're cash poor. And the only way they make more money is if they do another deal. And if they don't have the cash to do the deal, they ultimately get washed out of the system and go bankrupt because they don't have any cash or cash flow to pay down any of their debts. But they live this big lifestyle. They pound their chest. I'm worth 25 million, 100 million plus, blah, 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 blah. And yet they don't have a pot to piss in. They don't have cash. So be careful who you're listening to. And I'm not knocking real estate. I'm just saying there's lots of different ways to do real estate, and most of them are doing it wrong. And they're sharing how they're doing it wrong. And no one's paying attention because they get bought into this idea like, dude, that guy's worth 100 million. He must know what he's talking about. Okay, well, show me. I want to see your cash flow. I want to see your bank account. I want to see how much cash you have in the bank. I want to see how much cash flow you're generating every month. I want to see your expenses, right? Real estate's an amazing wealth builder. The reason real estate's created more millionaires, they say, than any other vertical, it's because it's a very tax opportunity environment for business owners and real estate investors to, be worth a lot and then ultimately take cash out through loans and refis and all this stuff. But you're always chasing the next deal. It never stops. So just get very clear on what I'm saying here when you're chasing these opportunities, building these businesses. I personally prefer to focus on cash flow. I don't know how to build a business in San Francisco where you're raising $200 million to grow a company that makes $12 a month. I don't know how to do that. I genuinely don't know how to do it. It doesn't make sense to me. It breaks my brain. But yet the company's valued at, $10 billion. It genuinely doesn't make sense. An idea is not worth 10 billion. Cash and cash flow is what makes something worth something. And I see a lot of people buy into this. It's 20x EBITDA. We're going to crush it. It's like, dude, this company's not making any money. The team's falling apart. The only reason they got money in the bank because they keep raising more money. They're reducing there's guys I know that sold companies for hundreds of millions of dollars. And one in particular, he sold for like $300 and something million. And after the dust settled, he got like 1.8 million. And he busted his ass for 7 years. But he goes around saying he sold a company for 300 million. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to sell something for 300 million and only get a couple $1 million plus all the stress that he went through. And to say it's stress is an understatement because he raised a lot of money from a lot of people and it just kept dying and the product just couldn't get it off the ground at a high level. But don't be broke, but worth millions. I'd rather see you be wealthy daily with cash flow while building your wealth with real estate and equity or your equity in your business. There's a lot of business owners, again, you may or may not be privy to some of this information. I'm on a lot of boards, a lot of environments where I actually see behind the scenes on, I just got a report yesterday, this guy's trying to borrow money from us, the fund I'm in, and the company's supposedly worth $200 million. They have $18 million cash on hand in the company, but they need $20 million to get a loan because that money is all borrowed, that $18 million, the majority of it, 80% is borrowed, right? They're robbing from Paul to pay Peter, borrowing from Steve to pay Jane. I mean, it's very mentally taxing. And then you look at the CEOs because you get, these are personally guaranteed notes by the CEO and all this. And then you realize the CEO is only making $350,000 a year. This is a lot of stress, but he has a lot of net worth because the shares in his company could be worth whatever, right? Oh, it's worth $100 million. You can't spend it. It's not worth anything, right? It could be, but that takes an exit. That takes something to happen at the end where you're getting a lot of money from someone and ultimately it happens. But don't fall into this whole idea of like, it's cool to be worth millions of dollars, but yet you can't pay your electric bill today. I promise you, I guarantee, I know for a fact, the majority of these fucking real estate guys are in that position. They have the assets. Most of them are syndicated. And the majority of them have and I'm talking very little cash in the bank. They're literally, if they don't sign a deal tomorrow at the end of the week, they could go bankrupt. It's that serious. That's why they borrow at crazy numbers because they have to, because the banks, they're not programmed. They can't wait 30, 60, 90 days on bank timelines. That's why the private money, that's why the lending sector is so big in that space. I mean, these guys are willing to pay 8, 10, 12, 20% in fees for a 1-month loan. Yes, it's real. It happens every single day at all levels, single families to $500 million apartment building complexes and commercial. It's everywhere. So I'm just sharing that with you because it stuck out to me when I was on my walk. Don't be broke, but worth millions. Be cash flow rich, worth millions. That's the real play. And if you build real cash flow, and I'm talking cash flow that supersedes your debt at a big level, right? Don't say, well, man, I make $250 a month. Okay, what do you keep? See, the thing is, everyone's out here talking about fucking gross numbers. I make $250 a month. Cool. What did you net? It might be negative 20,000. I've talked about this on the show before. I knew a lady. She consulted me. I consulted her, I should say. And she's like, dude, like I'm making $300,000 a month and I'm losing $50,000 a month. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I said, simple. You're making money in the wrong places. You don't have good systems, processes, and all this stuff. So I'd rather see you make $200,000 a month gross and net $100,000 a month. Sometimes making less will earn you more as an owner. And if you don't have a clear path of growth from that $300,000 to $1 million a month range, you are going to burn yourself out and you could go bankrupt very quick because you're burning cash so fast. It's the bridge. That's why it's called bridge lending, right? It's the bridge to get you over the hump. And again, I'm not knocking this part of the cycles, but like sometimes it takes a lot of stuff to catch up before the revenue starts kicking in. And if you're distributing products, there's a lot of moving parts here. So I just want you to know I'm rooting for you. Don't be broke, but worth millions. And stop talking gross numbers. Start talking net numbers. Get real with people. Let them know the real truth of what's going on. I was sitting beside a guy and he's like, yeah, man, my company's making $100 million a year. Okay, cool. How much is in the bank? You know how much he had in the bank? You know, his personal and business bank accounts, total, collectively, $280,000. cash. That is no money if you're making $100 million a year gross numbers. You're broke. You're like one day away from being bankrupt. So again, don't get all googly-eyed when people are talking about worth millions and this and that. I've never really been a net worth guy. I've been a cash flow guy. How much cash flow am I making a day against my debt, against my, my cost of goods and all that good stuff? So I promise you, if you start thinking like that and start implementing and executing with that in mind, you will have a much better quality of life. It's way more fun knowing that you don't have to wake up. And the truth is, let's be honest, they're modern day slaves. If you're behind the gun like that, literally you're looking down the barrel every day. One mishap, game's over, right? Financially, it's over. So massive amounts of debt, massive amounts of problems, massive amounts of moving parts. And they have to wake up. They have to go to work. They have to take stupid loans that they don't want to take, but they have to. They put themselves in a position where they are a slave to the dollar, just like everyone else is that has a job that can't quit because they live paycheck to paycheck. You've put yourself in a position where if you have to do that, you're literally you're a modern day slave. Because if you don't work, game over, right? And I don't want that for anybody. It's not good for any of us. And unfortunately, the majority of the world lives like that. Don't be the majority, right? I've never wanted to be like most people. I've always wanted to do my own thing. So my way's slower growth. My way's harder work, maybe. But at the end of the day, I can wake up when I want. I can do what I want with whoever I want. And I can say no all the time if I want. And I don't have to say yes because I'm forced to say yes. So I'm thinking about you guys. I'm rooting for you. Make sure to check out the newsletter at markevansdm.com/10 million. If you have questions or problems in your business, let me know on Instagram at MarkEvansDM. I want to help you. Shoot me a message or shoot me an email, actually, mark@markevansdm.com. Tell me, ask/podcast so we know it's you, and we'll make sure to answer these questions in the future shows. So with that said, and who knows, maybe I'm in Dubai. Make today count.
I'm Mark Evans DM. I'm here to help and teach them what I know and how I did it to discover freedom. There ain't no question Mark Evans when he step in the door. He's closing deals. Time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker, but I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker. The journey's where it's at. It's all about the process. It's time to get over to the DM project. From a small town in Ohio, so I know how it is. Did not come from a lot of money. I remember as a kid, wanted to make 100 racks. Didn't see no one making more than that. Graduated high school with a 1.8. They should've held me back. I hope my principals and teachers are alive just to witness this. I'm my own boss. I'm out here running 2-8-figure businesses. I can walk away from it all and I'll be good, but I've been called to help people just like y'all learn the game. It's time to ball. Everybody chasing the money, but I'm not chasing the money. I'm out here chasing the purpose. Yo, I've been working my whole life. What got us where we at isn't gonna get us where we wanna go. So it's time to push, time to learn, time to grow. I'm Mark Evans DM. I'm here to help and teach them what I know and how I did it to discover freedom. There ain't no question Mark Evans when he step in the door. He's closing deals. Time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker, but I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker. The journey's where it's at. It's all about the process. It's time to get over to the DM project. I'm Mark Evans DM. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. DM project.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.